In this lesson, I'm going to share with you the process painting a loose watercolor landscape painting. The first decision you have to think about is that do you want to leave the bottom more or the top more? Is the sky more interesting or the water more interesting? It's up to you. Okay, you want the sky more. Alright, if you make up your mind, any light color would do. Okay, I'm going to have that a little bit lower, like that. How's that? So I'm going to have the middle that disappear over there. You can move the center a little bit more to the left, a little bit more to the right. It's totally up to you. Let's not making too much changes for this exercise. I'm going to have this coming over here, and that's good on the left side. On the right side, and going a little bit more like this angle. That's fine. The top, the horizon line is about like this. Okay, all the way to there. Okay, and it may be a little bit house like that, and we may or may not want those. Okay, this maybe just put a little bit suggestion for the roof. That's good enough. So some of the thing that you think is critical is put it over there. I'm gonna have a little bit, just a little gray color. Okay, just put that like this, and there's a market. That's the tree. Okay, like that. Just a little bit suggestions. And on this side, I'm gonna just have a little bit green color. So I have it like that, and a little bit more coming over here. That's a little bit suggestions like that, coming down like this. That's good enough, and that's good. That's all we need. And then the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna paint the sky. Two ways to paint the clouds. One is lift around that white cloud, or you're gonna using water to light up it after. I'm gonna just take it's gonna be a little bit more challenge, because if you paint around, if the colors is not consistent, it's going to look off. That the consistency of the sky will look pretty odd, because you need to be the same, right? How about we change our mind? It just go the blue color coming down. Yeah, just put a little bit more blue. Okay, and coming down here like that. Okay, here we go. Coming down all the way over here. That's it. Accomplished. And all the way down over here like that. That's good. Make that a little bit more consistent. That's good. I think that the blue color probably not going to be dark enough. It's totally up to you. So now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to have a little bit more blue in the sky, in the water. Okay, the reflection. Okay, like this. And lift the gap. Okay, here we go. And then the bottom over here is going to get a little bit more gray. So a little bit more gray, that means we're going to have a little bit red to the blue color. And that's it, right? And a little bit more red. The gray is a little bit warmer. So that's why from the blue, it just have to have the red color. And that's it. I'm going to put that over here. You see that? That's put it like this. If you, again, one brush stroke can do the work. Don't do two. That's the rule. And that's good enough. Okay. And now I'm going to come back to the sky. Now here we go. Now I'm going just to clean the brush. Don't introduce much. So there's, as you see, the paper is still wet. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make sure the brush is dry as possible. Okay, like this. That's good. Now what I'm going to do, are you ready? Now I'm going to take a look at over here. Take a look. Here you go. That's the cloud. Oh, is that easy? Yeah, maybe too easy. So I'm going to have that just lift up the shape. And maybe a little bit over here too, like that. And continue. And I'm going to have, you don't have to capture all the shape. just some shape. Okay, that's good enough. I'm gonna have the little bit tiny more over here. This is a little bit more kind of gray color, so we can have that little bit gray color put back into it a little bit later. So here we go. Have that. It's getting dry already. If you dry, that means too late. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna have that a little bit light shape over here too. Okay, that's good. Now make sure I'm gonna clean the brush and come back over here and let go. That's good enough. That's a little cloud. That's pretty good. And at the bottom, we do the same thing. I'm gonna just, don't have to do much. Just light up a little bit tiny thing. So give a little bit suggestions of the white cloud. I'm gonna have that over here, like that. Use the side, the corner. Just light it up a little bit more. That looks fine. One more time, a little bit lighter. That's good. Now the sky is good. We come back to give a little bit more gray color in a bit. Okay. Now the next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna start add a little color, a little bit more yellowish. Okay. Just have a little bit lighter color, but just have a little bit tiny blue. Just something like that. I'm gonna put it on the light side. This is the light side. I'm gonna put that in here. And when it get a little bit closer, actually have also a little bit more brownish color at the front, like that. That's good. Here we go. That's good. And also the bottom over here, a little bit like that. Just think about the color, not think about what it is. And because so when you think about trees, you always have some ideas of what the tree must look like. Instead of observing. Okay, that's a little bit too dark, so I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter. That's good enough. Now this still a little bit wet, so I'm gonna come to this side, and now I'm gonna take a look at that the green color on at the bottom. Okay, here we go. You first have the yellow with a little bit blue. My brush already have a little bit red into it, so I'm gonna have this. That's a little bit darker. Now here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put that color on here, coming over, and the catch the shadow is gonna be look even more. So I decided to, I'm gonna just let it go. Just I'm gonna lift up the shape, for the light shape, for the bottom of the tree a little bit later. Okay, like that, and that would be it. Okay, now come back over here, and I can have the fresh color over here, as we talked about before, is if one brush stroke good enough, don't do two. Okay, that's a little bit more enforcing. I'm gonna a little bit later on top of that. So this is good. And next we're gonna go into the tree. Well, so I'm going to do the tree over here a little bit brighter and also a little bit lighter. So right, I'm gonna have this color, and also keep that in mind. The color in the distance is a little bit more gray, and that means you're gonna have a little bit more red to it. Okay, like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the little tissues because I don't want it to be too wet. Okay, like that. I'm gonna open up my brush a bit. Okay, can hold the shape pretty good. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just put it like that. That's the distance. Those distance tree. I have even a little bit more red. Like a little bit distance tree. That is good enough. But maybe a little bit too dark. So I'm gonna have that. And like that. Just because the cold press paper can produce some natural dry brush. That's good. Okay, now I'm going to have a little bit darker. Now I'm going to have more yellow. And have a little bit more, just the fresh blue. Still have a little bit more red into it because it's start from the distance. So I'm going to have that over here, like that, at the bottom. And here you go. Put over here, and you go. Start from there. And then coming forward, closer, and then I'm going to have a little bit more yellow to it. So I'm going to take a little bit more yellow and put it into the color. So I want it to be a little bit brighter. Okay, here you go, like that. Now I don't want it to be look like a straight line, even though it's curved. Okay, like that. And coming down over here, still leave a little gap. And coming over here again. Over here, that's good. We're gonna have some shadow in a bit. Now, the left side, or the light side, is already done, right? Now I'm gonna move on to the other side. And before I do that, I'm gonna have the color, mix that a little bit more red, and put that behind this house. Have a little bit more like the same thing. Use the side of the brush and get a little bit more and drive brush. Okay, that's good. Like that. That's good enough. Here we go. That's the foundation. I can have it all the way over here. And have this, the tree over here. I can tap on it. Okay, just tap. Okay, drag it a little bit. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's the tree. That's good enough. Okay, now the foundation already good. And we're going to do the reflection after we finish the top over there. So now at this point, I'm going to make some really dark color. So to get a lot more red. So just think about dark color, okay? Don't have to think about dark green color. So it's dark color, get a little bit more blue. That's just pretty dark. And we could just use this if we want to. So we're going to come back over here to have a little bit dark color. Okay, a little bit dark color over there. And here you go. Okay, put a little color like that for now. And I'm going to, I do want to have a little bit tiny more yellow. So because it look a little bit too dark. But this is still to be quite dark on the shadow side. I'm going to just make it open up a little bit more. Here we go. Now I'm going to start working on this bunch. Okay, here you go. And look, observe, and then see the contrast. Okay, here you go. We can have this a little bit higher, taller. Okay, like this. And take a look. This is good. And the bottom over here, a little bit darker. Leave the root top. That's fine. Okay, have a little bit gap. And this is good. Now I'm going to actually have this a little bit darker. You can see how the things come together from the vision to become the reality on paper. Okay, now I'm going to have this a little bit more red. I'm going to have this a little bit thicker, this color. Not thicker, it's just a little bit more, you know, a little bit more wet look. And I'm going to have a little bit more to change the color a bit. So that's a little bit more blue into this. Here you go, like that. And a little bit more blue, like right there. Just tap on it. So don't have to overdo it. This is good. So that have enough thing over there. And we can also drag some line like for the tree coming down like that. Okay. And then over here too, we can have the bottom over here a little bit darker like that. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a little bit more like the catch the shadow. The same dark color. Okay, like that. That is one. Okay, got a little bit over. Now I'm going to come back over here, have a little bit brown color. Okay, a little bit more brownish color. That's just good. That just use that. Just need a little bit more red. A little bit more red with the green or yellow. It's already look brown, so I'm going to have this. So make it a little bit softer, but that's too strong. The dark color, so I'm going to have that little bit gap like that. This is fine. And a little bit over here, a little bit shadow like that. This is good. And all right. And then we'll come back to make a little bit suggestions of the root top on the other side. This color would be good. That's good. That's good enough. Okay. Now we're going to come back to do the tree over here, the detail. After we're taking care of the reflection. Okay, the reflection, and it's based on what we already done, the objects above the water. Okay, that's a little bit darker. Take this color and see that. Because of that, I'm going to make that a little bit more like this and coming down. And like this. That's good. Okay, now the color need to change gradually. I'm gonna get a little bit more red to this. A little bit more red. Now I'm gonna open up the brush a bit more. Sometimes you use different kind of look brush. The brush stroke. A little bit more different. Okay, that's good. All right, I'm going to keep it over here. Now I'm get a little bit closer. That's good. I'm going to have that. Just tap on it. That's fine. And then get a little bit closer. Get a little bit darker over here too. So a little bit darker. A little bit darker at the top over there. Like this. That is the reflection. Okay. Look at on this side. It need to be a lot darker, but okay, let's go with this color first, and we're gonna make darker a little bit later. So I'm gonna have that. Use the side of the brush. I'm gonna open up a bit. Okay, that's good. Oop, look at that. And maybe a little bit over. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna eliminate it. Okay, that's too much. Okay, come back a little bit. Okay, that's good. I'm going to avoid that area for now, for a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit yellow color. Here you go. A little bit more yellow. Put in the blue, so a little bit brighter. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to start over here. Okay, that's good. And reflection. That's good, like that. Look, analyze it, and see. And have a little gap over here. Now I'm gonna also have a little bit tiny more red over here. That's good. And I'm gonna have a little bit darker. So I'm gonna have red and that. That's good. A little bit more blue. That's good. That's too much red. That's good. Open it up a bit. Now I'm gonna put it on top of this already wet color. Just gonna have that a little bit vertical like that. That's good. A little bit darker. Okay, here you go. That's good. Like that. And with this color, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna just go into putting the tree trunk. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna have this one coming down, and another tree trunk, and we're gonna have this all the way down over here, thicker, or it's not going to be have that tall. I'm gonna have a little big shadow over there, and then here we go. Get a couple more, a few more over here, and in the reflection it's going to be very much the way it should be, and like that. Okay, here we go. Okay, and I'm going to see a little reflection on the side over here. I'm going to take that, and here you go, like this. That's fine. And this can be a little bit softer. Just get a little bit more tiny blue color. Okay. Now on the left side is almost there. Now I'm going to have just a little bit more yellow and the red color. And let's see what I'm going to do. Just open up the brush and then just drag the color down a little bit. So fill in the white gap. Okay. That's good enough. Now I'm going to come into, maybe let's do something to the sky, shall we? So all the thing that you're going to need to do is just take a little bit more tiny blue and red together. So this color is already great enough, right? So a little bit more like that. Blend it a little bit more. Doesn't need to be very dark. So I'm going to have this. See that? And here you go. And I have this. As you can see, that shadow. That shadow. See that? Drag around so you can see a little bit more of the shadow shape. That's good. I'm gonna have that, a little bit more shadow. A little bit over here, a little shadow. And that's very much it. It's a little bit more over here, the shadow. The reason we don't want to make it too dark because the contrast in the sky should be minimum. If you make it too dark, the sky would come too close to us. We're gonna have a little bit more over here too. So it would feel like the shadow. So they're into the shadow of that. So I'm gonna have that over here. I'm gonna have that a little bit more like this, and that's good. Slow down, that will be fine. And the reflection softer a little bit over here. Okay, that's good, like that. Now I come to on this side, on the right side. Now what we're gonna do, I am going to light up. And when you use artist paper, it may take a little bit, couple more minutes to do this technique. But the paper I'm using is very easy to light. This is a student grade Strathmore watercolor paper. I cut it from a sheet. It's supposed to be doing that for the college students demonstration. Okay, have it right here. Okay, here you go. Now just light it and it work. Okay, simple. Okay, like that. And over here too. And I have that. Here you go. Here you go. That's good. A little bit more. That's good enough. And we'll come back to after that drive. So over here, I can add a little color to here. There's a little bit isolated. That shape. And on the top over there, I maybe have a little bit brighter green color. Okay, because that is the light area. So I'm going to have a little bit more yellow. And just think about the process of need to be comparing. You have to see the color around surrounding. Now I have a little bit lighter, right? A lighter shape. And you can also have a little bit more, tiny more, a little bit brighter, because those are getting the direct sunlight. Okay, that's good. And the back over here too, have a little bit more. And the bottom over here can have a little bit more. That's just fine. And now we're gonna come back to, okay, maybe a little bit orange color. Not that much, just a little bit tiny orange color. And also want to open that up. Okay, open that up. I don't want that much hair. Touch it at the same time. Just a few hair at a time. So this is good. And you can do that, like say, oh, I'm gonna have a little bit more dust. You don't want to do that much over here. They could do that like this. It's a very, very one hand is not just time consuming. It could be like create some too much attention. Okay, so that's a technique you probably can tell. The technique we can do is to brush. You can use the toothbrush, have some green color spot on it, and that's good enough, right? Okay, let's wrap up this process by adding a little bit shadow to the tree on this side. So look at that, it needs to be darker, so I'm gonna make sure that the blue and red color, right, should be good enough. So here we go. I'm gonna have that over here, like this, and some are covered by the tree. So don't worry about. Okay, like that. And the top over there, gonna have a little bit brown color. Get the yellow and a little red. So okay, that's good. I'm gonna put that on the shape of the tree. Coming back over here like that. Now the tree a little bit more rounded. Okay, like that. And you can have that the whole here to be a little bit more brown, light brown color if you want to. Okay, over here, that's good. So I have a little bit darker color. The shadow, the branch. Okay, here you go. Like that coming in. And on the side over here, you can have the shadow. The shadow, the tree catch the shadow on that. Here we go. Now I'm gonna have a little bit more brown orange color. So here we go. Take a little red, and that's good enough. Now I'm gonna have this coming out. Okay. Okay. Control the brush a little bit better. Okay, here you go. That's good. And have some line over here. And a little bit line like that. Here we go. So have enough details line, and then we're gonna have some leaf, some branches, some group of shape, and over here also gonna have a little bit more shadow over there. Now the trees is getting there, and I'm gonna have a little bit tiny just for the color of the tree trunk. Just can shade it a little bit more. Now here we go. Let's wrap it up. Have some drive. Here we go, like this. That's good enough. Have a little bit, even a little bit more red. Here we go. Now I'm gonna have this, that. Here we go, like that. So tap on it, and maybe a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna have a little bit more pink. Okay, here we go. On top of the tree, like that. A little bit more, and let's just use the dry brush. Tap on it, and it looks like the tree at the front. Now I'm gonna have something even darker. So just make some darker color like that over here. and a little bit dark color, and a little bit dark color, and the back, and over here could be a little bit blue. And imagining if you do want to have the two brush technique, and you're going to have a little more texture over here. And the back over there, you can also have a little bit gray color. You can put that over there overlaid. You can make it look feeling like a little bit more in the distance, right? So, and you can also using the lifting like that. You can revise some of the detail shape. Like say over here, I'm gonna have that a little bit tiny more. You can do that with artist paper, or any artist paper. You can have that a little bit more. That's the reflection, and you can add the as well as add a little bit orange color to it if you want to, like that. You can gradually render even more and more and more. Like over here at the front. Here you go. That's the branch over here in the water. Have some reflection. Like that too. And have a little bit lighter shape over here too. And after you dry, you can also have a little bit darker shadow next to it. Okay? Like that. I think this is a little bit too hard, so I'm going to soften that a little bit more over there too, and you can come back, add more detail. So this is showing you the general process. At one hand, you want to keep it to be loose, but also create the feeling of depth in the painting.